Kyren Wilson broke down in tears as he claimed his maiden snooker world title, beating qualifier Jak Jones 18-14 in what was a tense final at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. Well, 2 days on, we can now talk live to Kyren. Kyren, great to talk to you. First of all, congratulations. Just tell us, how has the last couple of days been? Has it sunk in yet that you're a world champion?
No, I don't think it has, to be honest with you. I've obviously, my phone has been non-stop, and you know, I got back from Sheffield yesterday afternoon, and obviously after a long drive, straight to the toilet, got the phone out and come across a video of me clearing up to win the world title. And a beautiful little moment that I wasn't actually fully aware of at the time was one of my sons, Finley. He's only 9 years old. He was shouting down my ear in the Crucible, "Dad, you're a world champion, you're a world champion." And I just burst out crying, you know, even at home after it's all happened live. So yeah, I think it will take some time to sink in.
Just take us back to that final session. What was going through your head? Were you worried at all in that final session particularly? Because Jak Jones didn't make it easy for you.
No, Jak Jones held himself together tremendously well. You know, bearing in mind, not only is he a qualifier for this year's World Championships, that was his first ever final of any tournament. So yeah, hats off to Jak. He really pushed me the whole way. But yeah, you know, I just felt that I had to keep my emotions under wraps. I had to keep myself nice and composed the whole time, and the only way I was going to lose the final was if, you know, I kind of capitulated emotionally, and I managed to hold myself together really well, keep composed, and obviously take out a nice little break to go and lift this beautiful silver lady.
And Kyren, the emotion is totally understandable because you haven't had an easy journey to the top. Just tell us a little bit more about what it was like when you dropped off the tour, how your parents have helped you along the way. Yeah, my mum and dad have totally sacrificed their lives. You know, the whole time they've remortgaged the house numerous times. They brought a derelict house actually that hadn't been lived in for 40 years. Just because it had the potential to build a snooker room on the back. So yeah, beautiful moment to have them down and celebrate this win with me, and it makes all the blood, sweat and tears all worthwhile. And I imagine getting your hands on that trophy once now, it will have given you a bit of an appetite to be a multiple world champion. What are the targets now? Yeah, absolutely. Obviously it's taken me up to world number 3, so I think sort of on the horizon is pushing for that world number 1 spot. That's something I would love to tick off. But yeah, it's beautiful that I'm now a part of history. You know, one of the fascinating things for me has been looking around the names that have won this trophy right since the way, I think since 1925-26. So it's got such a long bout of history. And obviously my name's going to go on there. So yeah, I said previously I wouldn't be happy if I just won one throughout my career. Obviously at the age of 32 now, I'm coming into my prime. So now I've got the first one out the way, which I believe is the hardest one to win. Hopefully there'll be many more. And how has your family reacted? We're seeing some amazing pictures of you and your little boys there. You've been quite open about the health struggles in your family. How have they reacted? Yeah, I don't think they can quite believe it. I think obviously Finley at the age of 9, he's kind of a little bit more aware of sort of the enormity of what's just happened. But Bailey's just, you know, still in his 3-piece suit, still wearing John Higgins' dicky bow, which he kindly gave to Bailey after I beat him in the quarterfinals. Yeah, it was quite hard getting them to school this morning, actually. I don't think they were ready for that, but you know, they were fantastic. And again, a beautiful moment which I wasn't aware of was my 6-year-old son Bailey actually going over to congratulate Jak on a fantastic tournament. You know, we didn't tell him to do that, and for him to conduct himself in that way at that age is yeah, very impressive. Yeah, it was such a lovely moment to watch. You said afterwards that your kids idolise Cristiano Ronaldo. Are you #1 now, though? No, I think I'm number 3 actually. My youngest, he keeps saying how Judd Trump is still his favourite snooker player. So, yeah, some people are very hard to please. Move over, Judd. Right, the Crucible. We've got to talk to you a little bit about the venue because it's come under scrutiny. Barry Hearn saying that Sheffield needs a new venue. Do you think the World Championship should stay at the Crucible? How special is it?
Yeah, I hope it never moves. You know, I think it's amazing. It literally is in the writing. You know, it is pure theatre in there. It's so intense, so compact. The atmosphere is like no other. I don't think you can create the same intensity in a big, vast venue. You know, I understand why there's talks of it. Obviously, there's a massive demand for snooker at the moment. You know, in all parts of the world. So it's a great position for the game to be in. But for me, you know, it was so important to make sure I lifted it this year, because if I ever got the chance to lift this trophy and it wasn't at the Crucible, for me in particular, I don't think it would have quite had the same effect.
And you touched on it there, because lots of sports are taking events elsewhere, particularly to Saudi Arabia. Do you think some of the players want more prize money? Is that perhaps more important to some than the tradition?
Listen, at the end of the day, everybody has different circumstances. You know, people have families to provide for, mortgages to pay, bills to pay. So I don't know the position that other people are in. For me, it was just all about being a part of history. Obviously, the money and all of that sort of thing can take care of itself if you're a world champion. So I don't think there was any point in worrying about that sort of thing. But, you know, money does come and go. But history and legacy obviously is something that's going to remain forever. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, we do an awful lot of travelling. We make an awful lot of sacrifices away from the family. So yeah, obviously if the rewards are going to get bigger and better, that's obviously great. But yeah, it's, you know, history is something that I can sort of never have that robbed of me.
And we heard from our racing reporter a little earlier. You're hoping for another win today. Tell us a little bit about being part owner of this horse that is racing in the opener at Chester at 1:30, I think, today. Do you think it's going to be a double victory?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I've just got shares in a horse with Michael Owen's stable, actually, with the Manor House stables. And yeah, Auric, he's racing at 1:30 in Chester. I was supposed to be going, actually, but obviously media duties of being a world champion, which is obviously a great problem to have. But yeah, I'll be cheering him on, and yeah, he's won recently, had a close second as well. So hopefully we get another winner today at Chester.
And just finally, I've got to ask you a bit about the fact that you're good friends with darts player Rapid's Ricky Evans, also from Kettering.
Yeah.
I imagine you're doing a bit of celebrating, a bit of dancing. Have you practiced your dance moves with him on a night out?
Yeah, it would have been great to have walked out to the YMCA at the Crucible. I don't think it would have quite had the same impact that maybe a dart player can have in those rowdy atmospheres. But yeah, it was quite funny, actually. One of the things that one of the reporters said to me this week was, do you think you'll have overtaken Rapid Ricky Evans as the #1 most famous sports star in Kettering? But again, I think I'm still #2 to the most famous darts player in Kettering.
Kyren, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.